So let's do everyone's favorite feature with the worst animation in the world. Okay, so we're going to work with parry and of course getting parried, parrying others, and so on and so on. Now let's drop the parry animation. We can do this. We are on the player controller right now. Okay, and I'm going to just drop this on the override layer. Let's call it parry, and obviously this will just return back to the empty scene. Okay, that's way too slow. We want to be returning at the main scene faster, so you can actually parry. Okay, and of course we also want to do the attack for parrying somebody. Which is going to be this ugly thing. Okay, so we got these two. Now we need to set up the enemy as well. So let's find the enemy. Let's find his controller, which is this. As you can see, we do not have more layers. We only have one for the base controller, so that's what we're going to use. So if you want the enemy to be able to parry and so on, to do that as well, okay, obviously just copy what we're going to be doing on the player controller. But for now, we're just going to keep him as getting parried. Transition that back. Okay, that's what's going to happen. And since we're here, let's drop the backstab as well. Same thing. Well, almost. And the interaction for, let's see, or do we have it as a gesture? This is the getting parried, and the attack interruption basically, yeah. That's the attack interrupt. Okay, we want this to be prolonged, and as much as this stays prolonged, it means you're basically going to be able to parry him. So let's change the name to something better. Okay, and it will take this long until you can parry him. Okay, now we kinda need flags for this so that we know that you can actually parry him. One easy way will be to just add a new bool over here. Can be parried. Or maybe interrupted. Okay, and let's add on state ender, interrupted, set that to true, and of course we're going to set this on the on state ender on this one. So interrupted is going to set to false. We can also say that reset on exit, but I'm just going to keep both of them, because even if I fall or this in the animation interrupted, which shouldn't, then that means we're going to be going onto this locomotion animation. Okay, and for getting stabbed and getting parried, that will just stay like that, and we'll see what we're going to do, because we're going to have to make him get up as well from that, which obviously we don't have any animations, so we'll see. So we got these two, and let's go under our player. Well, first of all, we need to set up the animation that you can actually parry him. Okay, then that means let's go under one of our weapons. Let's find it, data, items, weapon items. Let's just use the great sword. And we have an attack one on the right bumper. Let's add a second attack. On the second attack, I'm just going to call this parry. And let's switch this to left button. Now you can see that it does say it's an attack action, but all this is doing is actually just playing a target animation depending on if you're mirrored or not. So even if it says attack, we will know that this is just a plain animation action. Okay, so let's test this out. Okay, the left bumper doesn't actually work. And I think it doesn't work because we do not have, or we did it on a, yeah, I think we did it on the wrong weapon. And actually let's delete Greatsword 1. Doesn't matter. Okay, left bumper. Okay, so this actually works. Okay, there's our parry. Obviously we need to set up to a different or maybe mirror the animation itself depending on which hand you're going to having, but there's supposed to be a shield on your left hand. Okay, so as you can see, we still have an animation event error because we do not have a receiver for that, which means we're going to go on the animator hook. Okay, and then we're going to just add the enable and disable parry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say enable parry collider. Okay, let's leave this for now. Then on to our player. Let's go and change the animation. Actually, we can't do this right onto the player. We need to do this over here. Windows, animation. Okay, you can see that we have an initiate parry and 2 times, which doesn't really make any sense. So I'm just going to delete the second one, and in this one, let's just copy the name. And it's just going to be enable parry collider. We don't need to be passing an integer. Okay, this will be empty. And we're going to handle the parry by itself. So, onto our controller now. We need something to tell us that where is the grace area. So, where will that parry object be? Let's add a cube in front of us. Let's call this parry collider. Let's add then, we need to kind of do something with this, with the colliders, with the layers. So let's call this collider, or let's call this parry. Or you know what, we could just call this damage colliders. Okay, let's reset this. And of course, feel free to tweak this to as much as you want. But that's what we're going to be using. Okay, this is going to be a trigger. Because we're going to start having a few issues, I think, with our camera manager and so on. Let's remove, I think it's the 11th, yeah. Let's remove that from calculations for the camera collision. Let's also remove that from our controller for finding the ground. Okay. So onto our controller, let's add a simple game object, or let's add, yeah, okay, let's do this as a game object. Parry collider. Now obviously there's another way. We could just do a raycast forward. Let's try let's try with a collider. I think it's going to give us a little bit more leeway. So let's open this and let's do a public void, open Parry collider. Okay, then Parry collider dot game object set active to true. We probably only want this to happen on one frame, so that means I can just go on my late update, which we do not have implemented yet. Void late update, and if Parry collider is active in hierarchy, Parry collider set active false. Now this is redundant because it's already a game object. Okay, so this will only open it for one frame. This is kind of important so that we know if we have issues, because this will run on animator move, which probably is after the update. So you need to wait until the next fixed update. So you know what? Let's add a frame count. And each late update we're going to be adding onto our Parry frame count. And if Parry frame count is greater than, let's say, 3, so it means it stays open for 4 frames, it's going to close the collider. Okay, so 4 frames should be enough for any collisions to be determined. Okay, so let's collapse that. And let's see, since we have our collider, so since we have our controller, and the enemy has an AI controller, but we do want to be able to parry other controllers as well, we're going to create an interface for iParryable. Okay, then that will be void on parried. Most likely we don't need to know who will parry you. Okay, we just need to know, because we're going to handle that later, we just need to do an attack interruption and to tell that we are able to do the parry. So let's open up our AI controller. And let's implement this interface. On parried, then we're just going to say animator. Actually, to be correct with this, we need to know if you can be parried first. So we're going to add a public bool can be parried. Public bool is in interruption. Okay, so down here, if can be parried, if not is in interruption, and the parried is happening, is interruption is going to be true, or we're going to say, do we have a play animation? We don't have a play target animation, which is okay. We should have had one, but anyway, let's just do it like this. Animator dot play or crossfade, I guess. Attack interruption. Now, the attack interruption is going to happen, and you're going to be turning on the interruption state from this, the interruption. This will turn on the interrupted, so it means you're going to be staying over here. Let's make it slightly slower, so we have a little bit more time than this, although this should be plain enough. Okay, so that means is in interruption needs to be looking at what the animator says you're doing. So is in interruption animator get bool interrupted. Also, we need to turn on is interacting. Oh, we do have this. So here it is. So let's just use that. Play target animation. Attack interrupted. Okay, and set that to true. Okay, so he's going to be in an interruption. So we can basically now check if he's in the interruption, and then once you are going to attack again, you're going to be able to stab him. So we have all that, but we kinda need the Parry collider. And yeah, we're only going to need on trigger ender, or better yet, we are also going to need a start. A variable owner. Okay, and we need to look for our owner. Transfer get component in parent. I variable. Okay, if you do not have it, then it can just be null, doesn't matter. So Parry I variable equals other dot transfer dot get component in parent I variable, and if variable not equals null, if variable not equals your owner, your own collider, then variable dot on parried. Okay. So let's go and add that script to our own Parry collider. Okay, and we can drag and drop this under our game object. Now, even if I leave this open, it's still the late update is going to close it. Okay. The other thing that I would like to bring your attention to is, since this is not turned on to can't be parried, it means no matter what I do, since the can't be parried never turns on, no matter what I do, it's nothing really is going to be happening. Okay, because you do not have this parried. If I turn this on right now and then do another attack, apparently nothing is happening as well. Let's see. Yeah, nothing is happening because I think we do not have the Parry collider doesn't open. forgot to assign the animator hook. On the animator hook then, because we want this to be happening on, to be a little bit agnostic, although we do have the controller already. Okay, so is AI. Let's go and say if not is AI controller dot open Parry collider. And since we're here, we can have the public void can be, or enable can be parried, and public void disable can be parried. Now, because we want to be using this too on everyone basically that can be parried, we're going to set this up as actually, you know what? Yeah, okay. We're going to set this as a void set status, set Parry status, I guess. Parry status. Actually, you know what? Screw this. We're just going to go with the animator hook with the implementation. So if is AI, we're going to set up the AI controller. Do we have the AI controller? Why are we not saving the AI controller? Damn it. Yeah, that's kind of a little bit annoying, to be honest. So let's do this as public bool can be parried, and down here can be parried equals true, can be parried equals false. Okay, and then on the AI controller you're going to be looking in the animator hook. Yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Okay, can be parried. Awesome. So let's go and set up an attack for this. Or we don't need the attack right away. Let's see what this is changing. What? Yeah, whatever then. So let's go and pick up the weapon. You can see the Parry collider. Let's find our animator hook. I'm going to just tick can be parried. Okay, which means I should be able to parry him any place he is, if of course I actually hit him. Okay, so we are passing the wrong animation, the wrong name for the animation, otherwise it will have played, which means attack interrupt is written wrong. Okay, so let's find the AI controller. Here it is. Attack interrupt. Okay, so we're going to play this animation. I think I would like to actually give him, to actually make him rotate to look at us as well. So on the interfaces, we're also going to be passing let's pass a vector3 direction, which means on the Parry controller, then the direction we're going to pass will be owner.no. Okay, we should be getting the transfer as well. So let's see, void on interact, transform, get transform, which means on the AI controller we're going to have to implement the get transform. There's one small issue with this. This needs to be minus, by the way. One small issue with this is that we actually need to have implemented the iParryable onto our own controller as well, which is not a big deal. We can just go under controller and just implement the iParryable. On Parry, we can just leave this empty, although it's probably going to be the same thing, but we need to assign a get transform. Okay, then on the AI controller, on Parry, then this will now have a direction, which means we're going to normalize it, and let's just assign it right away. And also let's remove the Y from this. Okay, so now they're going to have the direction you're going to be interrupted to. Okay, let's test this out. So I'm going to just go on the enemy and enable the can be parried from the start, so I don't have to worry about that later. And I'm just going to select my controller. Okay, the direction is wrong, but the idea is there. The direction is a lot wrong actually. Okay, so the Parry controller, why is it wrong from parryable? Yeah, because we want the other way to look on. We want to look towards the owner. Okay, I think we had a disable AK method on the enemy as well. Let's see, we don't have it. Did we have an interaction? Let's see. Animator hook. Has look at target. Yeah, this should be kind of different. Okay, so you should not be looking at the target if you do not allow it. So we're going to need a bool. Actually, it will be better if we still use events for this. Okay, so we're going to say public bool disable IK. Public void disable IK. Disable IK equals true. Okay, and then we want to enable AK again. Enable AK. So that will be false. So on animator, look at target and not disable AK. You're going to be passing this. But we want also a method that's going to be going and changing the disable AK from the animator. So when you're going onto the locomotion state, you're going to be enabling AK as well. So we're going to create a new on enter state, on state enter change bool on. Yeah, we can actually use change bool on. We're going to have to say on state enter enable AK. Let's open that. And then on state enter, let's add the namespace. Let's delete all of this. I'm going to keep a reference to my animator hook. Animator hook equals null, then animator hook, animator game object, get component, animator hook, and yeah, that's okay. Then animator hook dot disable AK, it will be false. Alternatively, we could just add this as a bool over here, but the reason I'm not doing it in here is so that I can have enable the AK directly when the player attacks until there's no more time, until he's actually attacking. So this will be there, attack interrupt, okay. So we can just go now on the getting backstab. We probably just want to disable AK entirely when we are here though. So maybe let's edit this and let's do a public bool status and just assign this as a status, disable AK entirely. So for here it's going to be enabled and for here it's going to be disabled. Okay, let's try this out once again. Okay, ignoring the fact that it plays like a slog, but the main idea is there. I think in general we have an issue with the parry. So let's clear that. Let's go and close the can be parried, and basically now all we have to do is go to the animation itself. And let's see, we have the whichever one we're using, which I have no idea which it is. Let's see, attack 1, attack 2. Let's only keep, well, let's keep both of them, whatever. But let's go on the animator and see, we have the knife combo and the OH attack, okay? So, knife combo is read only, damn it. And let's see. So for this one, I will basically just add a flag here to maybe here. Okay, so let's see. We are at the 10th frame, and let's go. OH attack 1. Frame. Let's see how we're calling this. enable can be parried. Enable can be parried, and maybe till here. Disable can be parried. Actually, yeah, that wasn't the OH. That was, we wanted to change the knife combo. Damn it. And why I'm... That's why. Events. Can be parried, and let's move this on the 11th frame, whatever frame that is. Let's enable it here. Can be parried, and here we're going to add another one. Disable can be parried. Okay, that's for the attack. Let's try the one-handed attack next. Hit apply. And let's see. So from probably here, enable can be parried. Disable can be parried. So now you're actually going to have to test this out. We actually need some skills. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty tough because he's actually, and this is pretty low, pretty slow. And I can't do shit. Yeah, we won't be able to test this this way for sure. So I'm going to cheat by a lot. Let's Parry. And I'm just going to bring this down here so it's really begins, and on my controller I'm going to set this to 50 frames. 50 frames is almost, yeah, 50 frames is almost a second. Okay, keep in mind if your game is running at 60 FPS, then that means it's a few calls on the... Okay, so now we can test it. Now, I think for testing, because this is really heavily based on the animations, for testing I think I'm just going to go and disable the disable AK and just leave this to what it was, and then on the animator hook I'm just going to disable this so it's always going to be open. Okay, so that's it for the first part. This we still have to do the attack and then of course the backstabs, so we'll do this on the second part. So as always, you know what to do: like, subscribe, and if you like to see more stuff, more videos, more series, more of everything of this, then of course consider supporting my Patreon so we can keep making all of the things we are making. I'll see you next time.